So I typically come on here and record a video just like this, talking about my struggles with depression, anxiety, ADHD, cerebral palsy. But today, I thought I'd do something a little bit different. I went on DALL-E, I think that's how you say it, and I asked it to create a series of images that I could use to tell a story. And I gave it very specific instructions. I said I wanted characters that were cartoonish and kind of 3D characters, like Pixar style type of thing, right? And I uploaded a picture of myself for it to use as a reference to create a main character. And now I'm going to show you guys the pictures that it generated as I take you through my most recent clinical experience where my supervisor's feedback made me cry. So I'm working on my master's degree for speech and language pathology, which is the degree that you have to get if you want to become a speech therapist. I'm doing this through my university's extended learning program, so all of my classes are online via Zoom. And as part of the program requirements, we have to complete several mini internships. We call them clinical placements. And this is when we have to go out there and get that hands-on experience, providing speech therapy and assessments to kids in the schools and also adults who have had strokes, adults who have different types of dementia like Alzheimer's, even those who are having difficulty swallowing. We also provide swallowing evaluations and we make recommendations on modified diets and that kind of thing. And we assess cognition. And so a lot of people are surprised when they learn all this because the majority of people who I've come across, including myself before I got into this profession, think that a speech therapist is just the person who works in the schools and helps little kids learn to talk or say their R's. And of course we do all that too, but our scope of practice is actually kind of huge. But yeah, if you guys want to know more about what we do in different settings, what I've seen in sessions, what I've done as far as activities and that kind of stuff, just let me know and I'll be more than happy to post a couple videos. But anyway, back to my story. We have to complete a total of 400 clinical hours before we graduate. And I just completed my first clinical placement 3 days ago, actually. And this was done via Zoom, and I was treating patients from my university's speech and language clinic because a lot of universities have speech and language clinics, and the students tend to work there, and that's kind of how we get some of those hours in. And so I worked with a total of 4 patients, 3 of them which had suffered a stroke, and one of them had just recently been diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And so during sessions, of course, my clinical supervisor would pop in and observe my sessions and take notes. And we had to meet a couple of times a week so that she could give me some feedback about what was going well and some areas for improvement. Of course, that's part of the training, right? And let me just preface this by saying that I've always been very sensitive to criticism. I've done tons of research. I know there's rejection, sensitive dysphoria out there for people who have ADHD. And also, I've had counselors tell me it's a trauma response. I don't know why. I just don't take it lightly. And even though, logically I know that I shouldn't take it personally and that constructive criticism is part of the education that I'm receiving and the training. I know all of this logically, but my feelings still get very, very hurt, and I tend to internalize the criticism, no matter how nicely they try to word it, right? So she gave me some good feedback. She said that my writing was excellent, which writing has always been a strong suit for me. When I was younger, I wanted to become an author. And she said that she liked that I was very creative with the types of activities that I came up with for patients. And onto the not so positive feedback, she said that my voice was monotone, that I needed to work on pacing my sessions better.
You obviously haven't learned anything. You haven't mastered any of your training.
She said something along the lines of, I think you think too much.
All you've done with your training is memorize the information.
And that I needed to loosen up.
Your body still has no clue what it needs to do. What the hell have you been up to for the past year and a half? All of it has to be hammered into your flesh! More!
I think that what's most difficult is that I've really put forth my very best effort despite all of these conditions that I'm dealing with. And it still doesn't seem like it's good enough.
I'm trying! I'm giving it all I've got! Every day! Except I'm not getting anywhere. I can't. I don't think I can do it!
And I'm sure she had the best of intentions in mind, but she was basically just pointing out all of the symptoms of, that are related to my anxiety and my depression. The monotone voice, I know I'm very tense and anxious, and particularly in social situations, and that I needed to work on my confidence.
You can! Man up! Don't you want to be a demon slayer? There's nowhere else to go but forward! Give it your all! Show me just what you're capable of!
Because I wasn't projecting confidence, right? And so this feedback broke me because I felt like it was all the things that I already knew about myself, and that it's affecting my performance as a clinician. And I felt like she was essentially telling me, you don't have the right personality for this profession. Those words were just kind of ruminating in my mind, repeating over and over again, because it just felt so personal. I think that those of us that deal with anxiety and depression already know all these things, and having people just confirm it really just makes us feel worse. I mean, I've even had people here on YouTube comment that my voice is depressing. After we ended that meeting, I cried myself to sleep because I felt so defeated.
Show me just what you're capable of!